Boxing Guru podcast. It is me, Sal, Mr. Boxing Guru. Guys, welcome again. Right before we get into it, that great music was from Los Anaya. Thank you guys so much week after week. Thank you guys for letting me use your music. Okay, with that said, what a weekend. Again, I wanted to do this podcast. I wanted to do it right away on Saturday night, but of course I had a couple of beers in me, so I stopped and just had to relax, and I'll do it Sunday as soon as I had time. And, you know, it's 9 o'clock, 9:30 on the Sunday night, and I finally did everything I needed to do and to get ready for my week, and here we are. But Tyson Fury dethrones the great Bronze Bomber in 7 rounds, And again, all this happened at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. And this was brought to you by Fox Pay-Per-View, ESPN Pay-Per-View, and wherever else you were able to stream it, whether it was on Instagram Live or whatever it was. A lot of streams out there. The fight, but again, the fight in itself was just a beautiful thing. I'm a big detractor of I would say cute fighters like Tyson Fury, but he did everything but be cute. And any time you get a fight like this where you're wrong, because I was wrong. I said, you know what, going in, GYPSY King gets knocked out in 7 to 9 rounds. That power is too much. I thought that Wilder was able to figure him out in the first fight, and it was just a matter of time, you know, till we got to this fight, and he did it again. Fury's a little older and whatnot, and he was able to put the GYPSY King away. But no, that's not what happened. Like I said, Tyson Fury's was able to stop him. He was able to do a great. The body shots that Tyson Fury threw in there, I don't think many people are paying that much attention to the overall work he did. But again, like I said, 7th round stoppage. I can't say it enough. 7th round stoppage for Deontay Wilder. He gets stopped in 7th. The GYPSY King's able to take care of that. In 7 rounds, again, he was able to drop him, and he was a bit more assertive. And yes, I know it's cliche to talk about the crunch him, but there was some of that aggressiveness, that classic aggressiveness that the great Emmanuel Stewart taught, and it was very evident in the fight. And again, we'll talk about it. You know, as we go on. But I wanted to kind of take it back, because what happened? I mean, what happened? What was so different this fight than in the first one? And let's go back to the to the first fight, because I think it's only fair to talk about that. Start with the first fight. In the first fight, the GYPSY King fought. You know, he fought his classic way of fighting, which is very jittery. Fought off the back foot, and he tried to outbox the puncher, which is, you know, normal. That's what you do. If you're a boxer, you box. You don't try to brawl with a brawler. It just doesn't work. Or with a puncher. Let me change that to a puncher. And that's what he did, and he was very successful through most of the fight. But it was just 2 moments of weakness where the GYPSY King did get caught in the first fight. So that was, you know, whatever it was. I thought he won the first fight, the GYPSY King did, but I didn't think he had the ability to do that same game plan on the second fight. And I think that's the big change that happened in this fight. I think a guy like the GYPSY King figured out, okay, you know what? I can't box this much. I need to sit down, and I need to punch this guy back. I think he figured out, or his people told him, you know what, this kid his chin is very suspect. You know, if you touch him, you will hurt him. And I think the problem was finding a way to get in there versus the great power of Deontay Wilder, because we all know about Deontay Wilder. It's not that he's a great boxer, because he's not. It's not that, you know, he's a great technician. Again, he's not. But he has that power. And I think that's the power that you could almost match it up from generation to generation. And he's one of those guys that'll do, I think, good in any type of heavyweight or generation, I might add. So that power is that devastating, that power is that good, and that power is what's taking him so freaking far. So what do you do versus a guy that can crack like that? Do you box him again and hope? And again, hope you don't get cracked. Hope he doesn't touch you, but he touched you the first fight. You're very lucky to get up. In this case, the Gypsy King in the first fight. Even in the 12th round, the Gypsy King was able to get up. And what he did after getting up in that first fight was something very special and shit that you do when your back is against the wall and you don't have a choice but to fight back out of a situation. And that's exactly what he did. And after that 12th round knockdown that we all thought the Gypsy King wasn't going to get up from, he fought back. He didn't have the legs to move around. Again, the Gypsy King did not have the legs to move around, so he had to fight Deontay Wilder off of him. And by fighting back, by not having a choice, by fighting back, he hurt Deontay Wilder in that first fight. I didn't pay much attention to it. Now going back, you kind of start putting things together. But again, I'm not going to be that guy that says, you know what? Oh yeah, you know what? This was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I didn't fucking know this was going to happen. Like I said, I thought it was going to be another night in the office. I thought Deontay Wilder had figured him out, and he was going to be able to put him away in 7 or 9 rounds. That's not what happened on Saturday. So what did happen? What were the mistakes? What went wrong for Deontay Wilder? I think Deontay Wilder, again, like in every fight, fell in love with his power, and he figured, you know what? He's going to do all this shit. He's going to try to move around so much, and he's going to try, and he's going to do what I'm going to do. Again, in this case, Deontay Wilder. I'm going to wait for that perfect moment. And again, he said it before. For Fury to beat Wilder, Fury had to pitch a perfect fight. He had to be perfect 100% of the time. It had to be perfect for those 12 rounds, 3 minutes. All Fury had to be perfect was for a split second. That was Fury's mentality, and that's what went wrong in that fight. What Fury did, he was able to feint, just beautiful. He was able to take that right hand away from him by neutralizing that power, and he took a big game plan off of guys like Canelo and Canelo Golovkin too. He took in that case it was Golovkin's big left hand. He took it away from him, and he was able to smother Golovkin, stay right in the front and keep him from stalking. And that's exactly what the Gypsy King did. Another example of this is Pavlik versus Miranda. Miranda, again, everybody, I don't know if you guys remember, or maybe you guys don't, but Miranda was a classic bully in the fight. These guys that are accustomed to being bullies are not used to fighting backwards. And this is what these guys had to do. And this is what Deontay Wilder didn't know how to do. He did not know how to fight backwards. And that's what the Gypsy King took advantage of. Not only that, but again, he was just punching every possible way. He took his a big right hand out. He also that body work from the Gypsy King was a beautiful thing, and that's what changed as far as the Gypsy King. And Deontay Wilder, nothing much changed. It was the same plan as, you know what, I have a right hand, and it's eventually he's going to land. Yes, he's going to beat me some of the rounds, but eventually I'll catch him. He was not expecting a busted eardrum. He was not expecting, the body work that the Gypsy King did to him, because he was accustomed. He thought he taught that all that shit that Tyson Fury was talking about was all BS. Him saying that he was going to come out here and knock out knock out Deontay Wilder, he just took it as rubbish. He took it as talk. He took it as just banter. But he actually came into fruition. The plan actually worked. So good for the Gypsy King. And this, you know what? This really makes me glad. And the reason why this fight in general gets me excited because it wasn't really predicted. I mean, the betting odds were, you guys saw the betting odds. Everybody thought that Wilder was gonna win. Yeah, there were some, that in spirit, went for the Gypsy King, but you guys weren't sure of it. So, in my opinion, this is just something, again, great that happened. It's great for boxing and great for the heavyweight division because for a quick second, the heavyweight division has been held hostage by PBC. And you guys know every time the PBC and again, I hate knocking them because they actually did something very good. They actually made this fight happen, or between them and Top Rank, which was, again, a beautiful thing. But they tend to hold things hostage, just like they have done the welterweight division. Now, in this case, where it kind of backfired on them, they had heard that the Gypsy King was coming back, was making a comeback, and of course, it's easy to call him out. So, Gypsy King did, had a couple of fights, and he looked, whatever. And then he gets a fight, then he gets, fights into a draw. Again, I remember the first fight going in, I said, you know what, this fight's going to be a shit fight. He's just going to run this guy over, and that's it. That's not what he got. He got a draw in the fight that most people thought that Gypsy King had won. Now they do this. They figured, you know what, Deontay was going to knock him out this time, like most of us did, and it didn't happen. And shout out to Bob Arum too, man, because right when you think Top Rank, because there was rumors going around that Top Rank is for sale, and I think that's all bullshit because I think they kind of did the same thing when Oscar fought Pacquiao. They were pretty much burying Top Rank, and they come up with this, and then they have new life, and that's exactly what just happened this weekend. They're saying that Top Rank was up for sale, and maybe the PBC wanted to buy in, and I don't think that's what's going to happen. So, kudos to Bob Arum. He saw something in the Gypsy King. I mean, obviously he has an eye for talent. I mean, he's built every superstar possible within the last 20 years. So, that was a great move for them. But back to my original point about the heavyweight and the heavyweight division not being held hostage. Again, for a long period of time, as a matter of fact, you had Deontay Wilder fighting guys like Chris Arreola, just like whoever was in the PBC stable that wasn't up to par. So the type of talents that a champion is supposed to fight. Especially when you're at that top level. I mean, look, Deontay Wilder has had that belt around his waist for a very, very long time. And not until recently has he fought formidable opposition. And now that he did, now he lost the belt. So again, I just wish something like that happens to the welterweight division. Now, what happens to the heavyweight division now? Now, like I said, you got the Gypsy King. The UK is the one that has a heavyweight division now. Of course, them having Anthony Joshua. So, in my opinion, the fight that I want to see, of course, and that we all want to see in the heavyweight division is Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. I would love that fight. I think that is the fight to make. There's no bullshit aside, no fucking stay busy fights. Let's just wait and again, this fight just happened in February, so let's sometime in August make it happen and get you guys a legitimate, not only UK champion. I mean, we're talking about the world champion, world heavyweight champion. This is something very special for the UK folks. I mean, I know when Andy Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua, I mean, there was some sort of pride, even though I kind of, thought it was a bit of a fluke that a guy like Like Andy Reeves beat a guy like Anthony Joshua, but still some sort of pride saying, you know what, that's my countryman. That guy that looks like me is now the heavyweight champion of the world. Now the UK has two of the major guys, and it's hard to say which one's better than which. I know, I get it that everybody's really high on Tyson Fury right now, and I don't want to shit on this parade right now because again, what he just did to Deontay Wilder was something that in my opinion is very, very special. Something that I think we will be talking about for many years because I don't know, the fight was just a beautiful fight. The way he just dismantled Wilder was a beautiful game plan. Again, you go on there and bully the bully. It's just, again, it's something that's very difficult to do if it's not in your DNA. And it's something that could very well backfire fairly quickly. But it didn't. It was work that shit. It was work that paid off, and it paid off for Tyson Fury, and great for him. Very happy for him. I can't be happy. What makes me happy is that I know that they're not gonna not make the fights. There's no reason why they cannot make the fights. I think the only place or the only one maybe that could fuck this up is Eddie Hearn. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Eddie Hearn being tied up with his own, they're gonna want the fight in his own. But I think I wouldn't be mad on ESPN hosting the fight and then charging for a pay-per-view, with Wilder. With Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. I wouldn't mind at all. I think it's a great fight, and I really hope it happens. But what to do in between, because I know they're going to want an easy fight. Especially Tyson Fury just went through hell of a camp. And Anthony Joshua, we haven't heard anything from him, but let's look who's out there that they could possibly fight. I mean, they have, of course, Andy Reeves is like top 5. Joseph Parker, Luis Ortiz is a solid fighter. So maybe, I would say maybe fighting. For Tyson Fury, maybe taking on the Povetkin, someone in the bottom top 10, or Adam Kanaki, throwing PBC a bone. Luis Ortiz to a certain extent, why not? I mean, he's still very, very solid fighter. I think Usyk, they should continue to build on him because I think Usyk just entered the heavyweight division. He should be ranked maybe top 10, but still. Let them develop into to that size to where those big boys are at. Dylan White to a certain extent, sure, why not? But they need a fight in between. Then maybe like I said, at the end of the year, I know initially I said August for them to go at it. I mean, they would love for it, but they're gonna want to fight somewhere in between. I just hope that in between doesn't fuck it up like. What eventually was fucked up by the people around him, because I know the fighters want to fight. Look, I think the fight that was always there to be made was Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. That was the mega fight. This was the U.S. King versus the UK King. This was the fight for heavyweight supremacy. Not only that, but financially it was going to be a great fight. But that's something that, again, the PBC side fucked up because they were being fucking greedy with this. They could have made so much more money with this and then had the rematch with Tyson Fury if they would have possibly beaten Anthony Joshua. But again, it's something that they fucked up. But this is what makes me happy about not Deontay Wilder losing, because Deontay deserves my utmost respect, but about PBC losing the WBC belt. And again, Again, I know I'm not a big fan of the WBC belt, but I'm glad they just don't have it hostage. Because now I don't think the Gypsy King is going to be one to back off from a guy like Anthony Joshua. I think they're going to want to do the fight, and I really, really, really hope they do. Um, Again, hopefully we get a fight. I really hope so. I'm really, really still happy for the Gypsy King. I'm glad, this fight. I'm glad we paid attention to the heavyweight division again. I really hope they're here to stay and they give us great fights once again. So, big shout out to both of them. As far as, and now let's switch up the gears a bit. Let's talk about this fight weekend. This fight weekend, we actually have Mikey Garcia, which is back. He is back to this Saturday from on February 29th. Again, this year we have, what is it called? The leap year. So we have an extra day. That's the 29th of February. And and the fights are in Frisco, Texas via DAZN. Again, Mikey Garcia versus Jesse Vargas. This is a very weird fight. Versus Jesse Vargas, 12 round welterweight fight. Look, man, Mikey does not belong as a welterweight. Jesse Vargas was already trying to campaign at 154 because he wanted that Munguia fight. I don't want to say that Mikey's going to lose because I don't think guys like Mikey lose to guys of the caliber of Jesse Vargas, especially because of Jesse Vargas' inactivity. And especially because of Jesse Vargas jumping around from trainer to trainer. And I just don't see it. But Mikey is playing with fucking fire in weight class that he does not belong. He's not Manny Pacquiao. He doesn't have the physical attributes to keep guys off of him. He was able to sort of box with Spence. But again, size fucking matters, man. Again, and one thing that a guy like Jesse Vargas does bring is he brings in a great jab. Mikey is a strong kid at 135. And he was a strong kid at 130, 126. He was a strong kid there. But even at 140, his pop, was kind of a bit lackluster. At 147 is non-existent. But he somehow wants to campaign at those type of weights. I get it. That's where the money is at, allegedly. But I think a guy like Mikey is more fitted for 100 and... I mean, shit. We always talk about, 147 is where the money's at. But shit, right now, there's all these young pups at 135 that I think eventually will move to 140. So I think Mikey Garcia should maybe reconsider going up to 140 and just waiting for these younger guys to move to 140 and start putting hands on them. I mean, you got Teofimo, you got eventually guys like Gervonta that I think are being a good little fight for Mikey Garcia. You got Ryan Garcia that yeah. You got who else? I mean, shit. You just got a bunch of young. Like, again, I think I already said Teofimo. You got all these guys at 100 and 135 that are just bursting at the seams. And I think Mikey would be a great one to welcome them to 140 because, again, I don't think they have much time there. But, again, that's neither this week or happening anytime soon. But Mikey Garcia versus Jesse Vargas, in my opinion, is going to be a very lackluster fight. I love Mikey to death. But, again, at this weight, with this type of size difference, we already seen it to a certain extent. I get Mikey Garcia. I mean... Jesse Vargas is not Jesse Vargas is not no Errol Spence, but the size difference kind of fares to be the same, and also Jesse Vargas likes to fight off that jab, so he loves to use this. And it's not like he's gonna go in there and try to brawl with Mikey. He's gonna the easier fight to make is to try to box Mikey. Mikey has the smaller alligator hands. It's going to be harder to get in. I think we see a very lackluster fight. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong when I'm calling these fights, because I just think it's going to be a very lackluster fight where we're not really going to be entertained. It's going to be a jab fest and a feint fest for Mikey trying to get in. And, of course, every time you hear that thing, he's going to raise his hand in the air, saying he won a round when he really hasn't done shit. I have Mikey winning, but he's not going to do any... He's going to do a disservice to himself by it's just a money grab, really. That's it. The interesting part about this is what's Mikey going to do after this fight, because again, it's not going to be very interesting. I don't think the numbers are going to do great because Jesse Vargas just doesn't move the needle. So what does Mikey Garcia do next? That's the question. Also in this card, but again, like I said, I have Mikey Garcia decision, maybe split. But that's what I got. Also on this card, we have GYPSY actually fights Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. And this is a what is it? This is a title fight. This is the title fight for GYPSY's WBA junior bantamweight title. So legit fight, good fight. I'm not sure how good Chocolatito's gonna do versus him, but versus fight because GYPSY's a solid fighter. So guys, I love Chocolatito, but I mean, I think I got GYPSY on this one. So. That is that. The other title fight, of course, is Julio Cesar Martinez. We've seen him a couple of times on these big fights already. And he fights Jay Harris. Again, Julio Cesar Martinez should be able to discard Harris fairly easy. I'd say maybe about 6-7 rounds, and he takes care of that. We got other fights like Israel Madrimov. Again, Jesse Rodriguez is fighting also. Alex Espino, keep an eye out for this kid. Alex Espino, again, he's fighting a developmental fight. He's at the super middleweight division. Diego Pacheco, again, another super middleweight guy that should be campaigning at 160 pounds, big 6 foot something kid. I think he's taller than me. Shit, I think he's got to be like 6'4" or some shit like that. Big kid. But it's a solid undercard. Anytime you throw Chocolatito in there, he's going to give it his all. Of course, Chocolatito's at the tail end of his career, so you'll hate to see him hurt. Of course, him winning will, I think make everybody's week, but that's that. The action fight to see here, just to give you guys a heads up, is GYPSY versus Chocolatito, and of course Julio Cesar Martinez versus Jay Harris. The rest of the fights, again, catch those developmental fights. Those are my bread and butter. You guys already know I love to see these kids develop. Of course, once they're completely developed, I say, throw them to the wolves, but just not now. Guys, thank you guys so much for listening. This is going to be a quick podcast, again, under 30 minutes. Hope you guys listen to it on your way to work and enjoy. Again, thank you for listening to the Mr. Boxing Guru podcast. Thank you guys. Y hasta luego.
Los demás de la acordada de aquellos se sorprendieron. Si quieren pueden matarme, que yo ya vengué a mis viejos. Dicen que lo fusilaron, otros que se fue muy lejos.